Good
Do, do,
unspecified
do.
time period, and welcome to Richard and Carl Play Daggerheart. I'm Richard, trying to get Carl emotionally invested so I can stab him in the heart with feelings.
And I am Carl, and I am going to specify what time of day it is, or what day it is, anyways, because, no matter what day you're watching this or listening to this, it's the day that I had my consultation with the surgeon for my cursed spleen.
Before we get into that incredibly important conversation, it's not a new with me, it's not related to anything at all, but I was in a
Mm-hmm.
conversation back when I ran my first D&D campaign. So, the spell Magnificent Mansion, you make a door, you go into a magical mansion, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you cast that spell on the door to the lower decks of a ship, does the door travel with the ship?
Huh. I mean, I think so.
Because relativity is weird that way, where if the door was in that exact spot in space and time and the Earth or the celestial sphere or whatever is moving, then the door would just rip through the planet. So there's a spell in Daggerheart that locks an object in its place, and I'm like, if you use it on a boat, does it just tear through the boat and ruin your boat, or does it travel with the boat?
Huh.
And as I roll
Well,
most things, it'd be
yeah.
whatever you're trying to do that'd be more interesting. Because if your goal was to temporal lock a plate so that way it tore through the boat and sank it, I'd let you do it. If your goal was I want to temporal lock this
Mm,
crate but have it move with the boat, I'd let you do it too. Now, if you want to
mm.
temporal lock yourself so you could go through the planet to fast travel, I'd have you roll a D100 twice, and if you get the same number twice, you live through this. But before we
Makes
get into
sense.
gaming, what's new in the Carlverse?
Well, so I mean, obviously, I went for my consultation about my spleen, but coincidentally, my eye was all messed up. I had really bad double vision.
I do remember this. It was not a
So
sharing gun.
no, so I asked the surgeon. I'm like, hey, like, what do I do about my eye? And they're like, oh yeah, you should go see an optometrist. And then they'll refer you to an ophthalmologist. So I see the optometrist, and they're like, yeah, your eye looks healthy. There's probably something pressing against the nerve in the back of your eye, but go see the ophthalmologist tomorrow morning. And so then, I'm going to go to the ophthalmologist tomorrow morning, and I have to park, so you have to pay for parking.
Of
And I'm
course.
like, okay, my appointment is for 10:30. They expect you to be there a half hour early. If I pay for like 2 hours, I should probably be good.
I just need to put a context thing out for our listeners right now. There should never be paid parking in Saskatchewan. There's no objects there. This is just a scam. 99% of that is just
Well,
empty parking lot space of that province. There is literally a
the worst part of the scam. The worst part of the scam is that I underestimated how long I would be at the hospital and got a $50 parking ticket.
Remember the empty lot behind my trailer that was in another empty lot that would fill with so much snow it looked like Hueco Mundo from Bleach with 100-foot tall dunes in the moonlight? There is no justification that anyone should ever have to... You once blew up a house to make more parking. That's how unvaluable land is in Saskatchewan. The house wasn't worth the parking it occupied. That's how meaningless parking should cost in Saskatchewan. It's ridiculous.
And it is pretty ridiculous.
Also, you should be able to argue that you didn't see the timer because you were at the eye surgeon. What a jerk move to put parking tickets for people who are getting their eyes fixed.
Okay, so
Bad people all around
I get my parking ticket, and I pay for it. It's you have to pay for it, otherwise you won't be able to park there for the CT scan. That they're like, yeah, you need the urgent CT scan, which CT stands for chromotomography.
So, you know what's wild?
Chromotomography
Is literally writing this book with so many medical procedures don't have that acronym. Somehow I have positron emission,
Yeah, CT
but I
stands
don't
for
have... CT. I have CAT.
Yeah, CT stands for chromotomography, and basically it's another X-ray thing where they, scan your body or whatever. And the hospital I went to actually apparently recently got a new CT scan machine, which was nice.
Saskatchewan medical is
but
better
so
than
this
it
time
should
I'm
be.
like, okay. So this time I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pay for like 3 hours of parking because I'm only expecting to be here for an hour and a half, but I should pay for 3 hours.
So I have a pro tip I'll give you after this story.
Okay.
But please continue. And
Anyway,
then I will give you what you could have done differently when it's no longer helpful.
So I go in there. My appointment's at 7:45. You're supposed to be there a half hour early, so I show up at 7:10. And I find my way to the medical imaging in the hospital there, and they direct me to the waiting room. And I'm expecting I'm gonna have to wait right till 7:45, but I do look in the room and I'm like, oh, the room is empty. Like, hopefully I don't have to wait for nobody. Turns out I didn't have to wait. They're like, yeah, the room is empty. Come on inside. Like,
nice.
I just pulled out my phone and started up the Show and Jump app, and they're like, yep, we're ready for you. It's like, oh, cool.
I assure you, having 2 eyes would not have improved Marshall King.
Well, see, by this point, my eye is will already be improved enough that like my double vision is pretty much gone, and the CT scan is not going to find anything, unfortunately.
Or fortunately, come on.
But they stick my arm with a tube to inject this high contrast dye, and she says to me, she's like, "Hey, so the high contrast dye, it will make a weird taste in your mouth, and you might get really flushed, like your face might get really warm and your butt might get really warm." I'm like, okay, and I'm kind of expecting it to be this gradual thing, but so they like put me through the calibration process, and then they're ready to do the thing, and they're like, all right, we're gonna inject the dye now. I was like, oh really? And then it's like instantaneously, I don't know, they inject it in your arm, but instantaneously you get this weird taste in your mouth, and yeah, my face got really flushed and really warm, and then it just like straight down to my butt, and it felt like I peed my pants.
For literal research I'm doing, what flavor was it? This is important.
See, I don't think I've ever gotten a CT scan before, but I do know I've tasted that flavor of medicine before.
I'm gonna guess salty banana penicillin.
No, you know that working hands orange stuff?
Oh!
That like it's like a super strong degreaser for like mechanics and stuff?
Yeah. Oh no.
Not like dial back the citrus.
I am intimately familiar with that
flavor.
smell flavor. I am intimately familiar.
Like I said, I'm pretty sure I've tasted that flavor either on another medicine or I had a CT scan that I forgot about, which.
Or it just could be something that smells so strong you can picture the flavor pretty clearly.
Maybe.
Because I feel like I can taste it. I've absolutely never drank that industrial degreaser, but I know what it would taste like. I am confident in this. So,
yeah.
A little side tangent is, so I decided foolishly to like do some Control F for keywords to see how often I use the same descriptions of things. And I use that like antiseptic hospital smell, that phrase antiseptic hospital smell, like 50 times, so I need to mix it up a bit. And orange degreaser is a great way to mix that up a bit. Like, I need some variety in there, because that is some placeholder flavor text right there, and I could do better. But also, hospitals smell like antiseptic and green corn. It's just a fact.
But that is just a fact. So then, I paid for 3 hours of parking, and I was done my whole thing in less than an hour. And I was like, man, how are you supposed to know how much time to pay for parking at a hospital?
So here's the pro tip I was going to give you. And yet I still don't have information if we know if you're going to die or not. But here's my pro tip. Your parents are retired. Have them drive you and pick you up. Or anyone drive you and pick you up. Heck, give the delivery driver the $4 and have them do it. But, like, no one should ever drive themselves to the hospital. That's just not good for mental health. Have someone who loves you or at least tolerates you drive you there and pick you up. Problem solved. Saskatchewan's not that big. It's at most like a 20-minute commitment.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's my rant. I would offer to do it, but as you're well aware, my driving probably killed our instructor.
But so yeah, like I say, I just had my consultation this morning, so this is all stuff that is going to happen. But as soon as someone views this episode, I'll be sent back into this partial time loop, and it's kind of a bit of a hassle. But I'm glad that we're popular enough that I keep going back.
So I'm gonna put a real question here. So if they do end up having to take out your spleen, and this is the question to our viewers as well. So all of our episodes come with downloads for modules, right? With pay what you want. How much would someone have to pay to get your spleen in a jar?
I have no idea. I forgot to ask the surgeon because I was more concerned about the eye problem.
Fair.
But I will have a follow-up appointment with the hematologist. He might know whether or not I'm allowed to keep the organ.
Because I think it'd be really funny to raffle off one of your organs to a weirdo on the internet for our podcast. I think that'd be really funny. That is by far the most ridiculous piece of merch. And then like 3 years later, we start selling spleen plushies. It's great.
They were nice enough to, because I had a CT scan scheduled for my spleen as well. But they were nice enough that they're just like, yeah, we'll just do them both at the same time because it takes like an extra minute to scan an extra body part. And then I finally decided to go on to the Saskatchewan eHealth and check my clinical reports because most of the time it's not worthwhile because I'm not a doctor. I don't know what I'm looking for.
Reasonable, but also curiosity is real.
Well, so in this case, it's like, okay, well, I know I'm looking for platelets because that's what's low for the hematologist. And I mean, they didn't give me a call or say that I urgently needed surgery at the CT scan. So they didn't notice anything obviously unusual at that point.
So having recently watched Cells at Work, which has like platelets running around carrying little boxes and things, well, blood cells doing that, I'm just picturing your poor platelets that are like World War II veterans with like crutches and a helmet on, desperately at work here. Trying so hard.
But firstly, I found out something new about platelets, and that is the hematologist told me when you get below 20,000 platelets per microliter of blood, they just shorten it. They're like, when you get below 20. That's when you're prone to spontaneous bleeding. And actually, I am fairly certain I actually experienced this one day when I was at work before I had been diagnosed. I have a scar on my fingertip, and I was like just working, and then suddenly I saw blood on the table, and I looked down, and the little scar on my fingertip was oozing blood, and I had to get a Band-Aid and whatever. And then shortly after that, I was diagnosed.
That's the thing that killed Mr. Spatengu.
So at that time I was at 13, which is dangerously low for sure.
Yeah.
Apparently, according to the Sask eHealth, 150 is roughly the lower limit where they want you to be, but 50 is their panic line.
And you're at 15?
Which right now I'm hovering somewhere between like 45 and 55. It kind of like fluctuates a little bit.
I just want to let you know you're definitely making the beeping noise when you have a quarter of a heart left in Zelda. That is just what your body's doing right now, is making that beeping noise. You know the one.
Yeah. But then the other thing is they don't post the images on Sask eHealth, or at least I couldn't see them.
Then how are
but
we
they do
supposed
post
to put
the
those on
comments
our
that they made
t-shirts?
about. But they do post the comments about the CT scans And since they scanned my spleen, they the comment was that my spleen is grossly unremarkable.
I do love that. That is my favorite compliment in history. Like, we briefly had that conversation off stream, and I'm like, yes, that is exactly what I want every test result to say. All of them. Grossly unremarkable is perfect for me. How's my weight going? Grossly unremarkable. You could stand to eat more cabbage. Beautiful. I can work with that. How are my teeth? Grossly unremarkable. Awesome. No drills needed here. They're unremarkable. I don't need the kind of pressure to be in good shape. I need to be in unremarkable, not worth talking about shape.
But I mean that's surprisingly, once again, I have failed to watch any particular movie this week, so I don't have a mini movie review. My fiance and I have been watching the last few seasons of Dexter, so we can watch New Blood, so we can watch Resurrection.
You sure are on theme.
I'm not actually very on theme, but I don't have any mini
Dexter after
movie
going to a
reviews, so
hematologist. That's like watching Shark Tank after getting denied a bank loan. It just seems like a choice.
So what's new with you there, Richard?
I don't know how I feel that the pivot to what's new with me is getting denied a bank loan. I mean, appropriate, but dang. So I have not been denied any bank loans this week, which is lovely.
Not this week.
I mean, I live the author-student life. I am very openly broke, so please, if you want to click the optional donation button on any of these free modules, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
I can use it to buy Carl a tombstone when I have to find a new player. Mocking my poor dead friend aside. Let's see, new with me. So, I'm really exciting in theory. Like, if I only have 5 minutes a month to say what I'm up to, I sound interesting. But I'm not actually that interesting. Because most of the things that sound interesting are done from my desk. Like, I'm in a grant writing workshop, learning the number of, like, lines needed on a bullet point to get authors grants is interesting to me. Planning a trip to go to the ROM is interesting to me. Starting a new job and realizing this isn't
okay. Wait. Step back just 1 second here. Everyone in Toronto knows what the ROM is.
Yeah.
But I feel like many other listeners would have no idea what you're talking about. Like, they might be like, "Are you talking about the Ronald McDonald House?"
So to be fair, they have Google.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you can just Google what the ROM is, but no context
instead, I
needed.
Googled where our viewers are from. So, apparently, our most popular location is North Carolina, so I do think we owe them an explanation. You know, Toronto's so far down on this list that we have more listeners than Dubai. So, it's the Royal Ontario Museum, and it is, for Toronto, a very nice museum. It is a reasonably sized museum. The subway station is called Museum Station. So I'm going to the Royal
I'm
Ontario
pretty sure it's
Museum.
actually just one of the nicer museums in Canada, I think. It's actually pretty prestigious.
It is probably... So, nostalgia always warps how big things are, right? Because I remember a museum in Calgary, whose name eludes me, was my favorite museum. But also, it seemed much bigger because I was much smaller. So I don't know how well that museum's held up. But the ROM, which I think I went with you, and that's like the entirety of... I might have went there twice or once, not sure. Because I tried to...
You and I have definitely gone there, because for Carl Fest. And then you guys didn't want to go to the shoe museum.
No, it's complicated. I'm personally not opposed to the shoe museum. There was other factors at play which I do not remember at the time. It was I didn't want to inconvenience you to go to a shoe museum. There is a difference. But I do find it funny being like, our viewers will know what this is, and I'm like, apparently not. I always get such joy when we're more popular in places we're not from, when we spend like 10% of our show talking about specific Canadian cities.
Yeah. But sorry, I interrupted you. You're talking about how most of the things that you do are boring, such as planning a trip to an awesome museum.
Yeah, so I'm off to an awesome museum. I started a new job, and I've just figured out their time schedule because it confused me deeply. So,
Oh?
I'm writing articles, stories, websites, scripts for Redacted at Redacted through Redacted like you do. Because I typically have my
Mm-hmm.
foot in some kind of academia job because I like it. Being pretentious is my favorite thing in the world. And being around people more
Mm-hmm.
qualified than me really reins me in. It's really good for me to surround myself with people smarter than me so I become less smug and insufferable. But what messed me up a bit
Okay.
is I start working on this job, and it's basically projects go in email chains, and are like, we've had one 10-minute meeting, and everything else is just comment on the file and use the email chain, which is beautiful. No fluff, no mandatory training, just getting to writing the good part. But I assumed they'd be working on academia time frames, like 9 to 5, right? It occurs to me 2 weeks in that they actually don't get to, like, looking at my stuff till, like, 5, 6 in the evening. And the problem is that I'm, like, getting up early, logging in, and there just won't be any feedback all day. I'm like, I just have my shift scheduled wrong. Apparently, this person doesn't get to actually do their job till, like, 6. I'm like, oh, man, that means they probably sit through 5 hours of meetings before they can check their email.
Oh.
Because that is what happens in these places. So I'm like, have work I have to do tomorrow morning that I would have done today, but I was waiting for feedback. But I also am a part-timer, so it's like, my mighty 3-day work week plus my ghostwriting means most of my life is lacking. Like, I took the time to do a full bedroom deep clean yesterday, and I'm feeling pretty good. I ended up with more books than I had bookshelves, so I had to, like, build a makeshift bookshelf out of paintings. It's 2-tiered. It's pretty nice. So what you do to build the so, picture if you will. We got, like, a nice upscale, not like a shoebox, like, they ship a mystery box of vegetables with my grocery orders in it. Like, literally there's a mystery box item where they just send you random vegetables.
Yeah, okay.
So picture, like, one of those nice, like, handled flip lid cardboard boxes, like a giant shoebox.
Yeah, okay.
So I got 2 of those set up, right? And they're about,
Makes
like,
sense.
tall enough that a horizontally laid out D&D book or, like, a traditional novel are shorter than it. So I line up those 2 boxes, and then put a ruby painting on top of it to make my 2-tiered bookshelf on my desk.
Ah.
And then the boxes are full of board games and things. So it's like an interesting setup. It seems stable. But I also just filled my bookshelf.
As long as you don't actually need to read any of those books.
No, you can get to them. They're all accessible. It's a good system.
Yeah. I just feel like as soon as you pull one out, then the whole thing's going to collapse.
With my craftsmanship, yeah, probably. It's not supposed to. I didn't design it to collapse. This isn't crumple zones in a car. But that's pretty much what's new with me. Writing things, watching things, writing more things. Museums, board games. Yeah, no, pretty much like... Man, parents telling me growing up, I can't just be a professional person who plays Dungeons & Dragons and writes all day. Turns out I can. Just can. I can just make money off my hobbies. It's pretty great.
It is pretty great.
Able to afford to treat my loved ones to a delicious hot Costco hot dog, which is the epitome of my budget right now.
I do love me some Costco food.
Costco is a great restaurant. One of my good friends had a Costco open up from their house, like within walking distance of their home. Not that walking to Costco is ever the strategy. And they're like, yeah, a lot of property value have went down except their area. I'm like, yeah, your property value doubled. There's a Costco within range. Like, for board game night, you could just go across, drop $20 and get like 10 pounds of already cooked wings.
That's true.
So I ended up trading yard work for Costco food, where I'm like, I'm going to do a bunch of yard work over the next 3 weeks, and that'll pay for our last Costco run. I'm like, I could just give you money. They're like, nah, I'd rather have the indentured servitude, like the serf you are. I'm like, that's reasonable. Nothing is
right.
more true to the author life than picking weeds to afford Costco hot dogs. That is the real, legitimate, genuine author experience. I joke, but like, it's a good activity for just letting my brain try and do unrelated Pokemon math in peace.
Mm.
So much Pokemon math. The problem with reverse engineering Pokemon is they didn't engineer it in the first place. It's deeply flawed for no reason. Why does Flamethrower have as much Embo as Ember? That's just bad design fundamentally. The bad move should just have more ammo. Return has more accuracy than Tackle. Why? And with that...
What, really?
Yeah, Tackle in Gen 1 had 95% accuracy. Why?
Wow.
Tackle needed to be nerfed, I guess, because it was too good, that generic garbage damage. I'm more annoyed that Cut doesn't have an increased crit rate, or extra crit damage or something. But that's full other rant. I could easily rant. I think it actually worked into an episode where I gave my angry rant about people being like, Butterfree's not that good. I'm like, you are misremembering Gen 1. Butterfree was amazing. But I digress.
Yeah, if you want to watch that. That might not have made it into the podcast, actually.
But yeah, but I like the idea that they'll hunt through it. Actually, I think statistically, because we have done Pokemon episodes, there is no way we don't talk about how good Butterfree is somewhere in 100 episodes of us talking for 2 hours at a chunk.
We do stand for Butterfree.
Like, at one point, we literally tier listed the entire Gen 1 Pokedex as far as we could get. And we would have just, like, been like, Beedrill, can't beat Delete 4 by itself, garbage. Butterfree, man, myth, legend, rains death from the skies. Should have been what Venonat evolved into. Unrelated rant. Alright, ready to dagger some heart?
Hopefully.
So, and quick reminder that attached to the episode description is a link to this adventure. It's up on itch.io. If you can hear me through the wall somehow, you could download before this episode goes live, which would be impressive and terrifying. Actually, I'd be so flattered if someone bugged my setup.
Yeah, that would be pretty flattering.
I'd also be really flattered if someone bought an adventure for $1,000 and put a note saying I dibs Carl's spleen.
We'll make sure to ask whether or not I get to keep it.
So we can hawk it off as merchandise. That is correct, yes. Deep Space and Dragons labeled pickle jar for it. Alright, so let's get started. So in the adventure, here's the fast refresher. Daggerheart is a narrative-first collaborative RPG. You describe what your character does, I describe how the world reacts. We use duality dice, d12s, to resolve big risky stuff. Pick one from hope, one for fear. Roll both when I call for an action. Add your relevant trait, finesse, presence, instinct, speed, etc. to total. Whatever dex is higher determines if it's hope, yay, fear, uh-oh. And if the dice match, critical boast, you crush it, get a bonus. Alright, into the plot. Fainwick is a cursed tangle of forest, bog, and petty gods. Some shoe-themed, some cobblers, some trees that are just angry at over-harvesting. Most are too weird to trust, and too small to ignore. Locals, called Wicklings, are as tough as old roots and convinced that their way is the only way. They managed just fine until Haven got sick. Haven, the no-gods-allowed kingdom, killed a god, built Seiya's corpse, mined it for power, and that dust turned into serpent sickness, a creeping petrification plague. The only cure? A rare red flower that grows in the Fainwick fields, 1 in 10,000. So of course, Haven invaded. While they're at it, stole the eye of a god, destroyed balance, now Fainwick's stuck in endless spring. No decay, no death, just overgrowth, angry tangle blooms, swelling beasts, and vines that don't know when to quit, despite how much prestige a half-ribbon may have in the gardening ways. As if the trail behind you has already disappeared. Ivy and pale moss creep over your footprints as fast as you leave them, closing the path almost like a wound with someone with decent platelet counts. The Witherwild feels quiet, almost watchful. You need to get to the next town, but the only sane way is to cross the marsh, and the only sane way to do that is the haven checkpoint city of Wyrmhearth Crossing. Still a couple days' journey downstream, located where the mountains meet the valley. So, to earn yourself a hope, describe what you currently look like, because I even don't know, and give me a brief summary. I'm setting a timer. You have 1 minute to tell me about your adventures last session. Go.
Well, I mean, Leroy von Wolfholm is a mostly human-looking fellow, except for unusually large anime eyes, kind of like Alita Battle Angel.
It's also worth noting in some of the fan art we've received, you look damp, and under your shirt have some frog spots that could be mistaken for eczema.
Yeah, okay, I can accept that. I mean, nothing on the face or exposed limbs or whatever, but he mostly blends into society. But I was hired by a spy master, Durin. I think that's his name. Kreldern. And he would like me to go to the treetop village of Allura to gather information on a person or a group,
or possibly
that may
3
be
raccoons.
trying to.
Oh, nothing. I was going to give
Pardon?
you a hint, and I've revoked it. Please continue.
Anyway, this group may be trying to steal the other eye of Nikita, which is the owl that was governing the seasons, whose eye was removed and has caused this endless spring.
Correct.
And along the way, I came across a little girl stranded in the river, and I saved her. And it turns out she's definitely the villain, but she doesn't know it. She has like amnesia or something. I'm pretty sure she gave up her memories, or her parents gave her up to this well that takes something to let you through a secret passage. And I'm currently escorting her along. Well, I assume I'm still escorting her along with me to try and figure out what she knows about what happened to the barrier in the town that we just left.
It is worth noting she is not tied up in a sack.
I'm not sure if she trusts me yet or not, but we'll see.
And is it currently the week of day or the week of night?
I kind of get the feeling that we're in the dusk.
All right, you're
right
in
now,
dusk,
but
and it should be nighttime around the time you'll arrive.
Ooh.
So,
Ding.
as you step into a clearing where the forest shifts, pale beams of the golden hour filter through the cavity, golden where they catch the drifting pollen, silver where the mist hangs low among the trees. The air smells less of rot and less of the corpse fire pile you were nearly dumped into, and more of rain and cut cedar. You have 2 days of travel before the lantern-lit piers rise out of the bog to meet you. Time enough for old memories to surface, and for the forest to decide what it wants to remember about you in return. Take a moment to describe something you're excited to visit in the city, be it a location, a good, a service, an NPC. What's its name, and have you been here before?
So something that I'd be excited to visit in this marsh city. It's a city in the marsh.
It is a city in the marsh, kind of like Venice or Pacific Town. A series of wooden planks floating, a large ribbit population, and quite frankly, you might have some ancestors from here.
I was gonna say that it does seem like there may be some ribbit delicacies that I hadn't had the chance to sample in a long time, because I was, my rat bastard father betrayed the kingdom.
All right.
That jerk of a father. So I'm pretty sure I am most excited for uh, delightful maple bug pie.
So the maple bug pie has now been added to this adventure for other people to run later. As a delicacy, they will be offered. For context, the maple
Right.
bug pie, if you're okay with this addition, the dragonflies in the swamp are about the size of suckling pigs. And it is like a
Mm-hmm.
mincemeat pie that's like a maple bacon made out of these
Ooh.
giant dragonflies.
That does sound like a ribbit delicacy for sure.
Mhm. Excellent. And have you been here before, or are you just vaguely aware?
I would say I'm probably more so vaguely aware.
Alright. So, this is where something interesting comes out. Have at any point have you taken severe damage from any of those withered adversaries you've faced? Such as the blights.
I have not.
So, at this point in the campaign, one of the mechanics from the adventure frame has begun to take effect, known as the corruption from the Witherwild. Adversaries and environments can gain an additional type called Withered. When an adversary is withered, the Witherwild has changed or impacted how they normally appear or operate. Anytime a PC takes severe damage from a withered adversary or environment, you gain a Wither token and place it on that sheet. You roll your fear dice. If you roll equal to or below the number of Wither tokens on the sheet, you immediately gain a scar, clear out tokens, and are permanently changed by the Wither. At the end of the session, clear all Wither tokens from the sheets and gain an equal amount of fear. If a character ever dies with a Wither token, their body is permanently taken over by the Witherwild. For future characters you make to possibly run across. So, with that under effect, here is where it would be really dramatic, where I'd be like, reveal your tokens. You gain 3, but no, you've been the most committed to a rogue. Like, I've seen people do rogue playthroughs on games before, but the commitment to the disguises on disguises has been pretty impressive, I do say. And with that, describe how you're making this journey. Are you cautious, alert to every sound as you wade through? Because the water's kind of been getting like deeper and deeper since you left the cranberry plant fog area. You feel the air denser and watchful. So are you being sneaky? Are you being bold? And I did have a request from a player that if you're going to try and put the child, at least put them in a Nezuko box on your back so that they're comfortable being trucked across.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose that is what I would imagine that I am carrying this child in the box for sure.
You could just make her walk. That is completely legitimate as well.
Well, I mean, if she is the villain, I kind of want to be on her good side so that I can, stab her in the back more effectively. I don't. Okay, maybe that's meta because I don't think Leroy really wants to stab this girl in the back, but he is highly suspicious
through
of her.
Leroy's actions, his backstory, his plot, his severe suspicion, I'm gonna say it's not metagaming. I know lots of problematic D&D players make the line of it's what my character would do. I do think your character being super suspicious of this girl, given your backstory, being betrayed and left for dead on multiple occasions, I think it's legit for you to be like, I'm gonna win this girl over so I can stab her in the face later, because I don't trust her due to the cryptic visions I saw. In character isn't a metagame stance, I think.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll let you have that one.
But so yeah, I do think I would be carrying her on my back, and I think we would be traveling somewhat cautiously. Occasionally asking her to send out her little fluffy dog, the skeleton puppy, to see if the dog can sniff out anything.
Okay. As you press on, the trail leads, because you are still kind of following the main road. It's a little flooded. There's been some heavy rain recently, but it's like there is a semblance of a trail. Like, it's not like there's trees in the middle of your trek, but you do see like a fork in the road of sorts. One seems to go like upland to less water, less squishy on your ankles, towards what feels like a ring grove, the air feeling denser, watchful. Or you can go deeper into the swamp, and you feel like looking at like what looks like there used to be a street sign here. You can make out that the way that leads towards that grove is the trail to Wyrmhearth Crossing, and the other side of the sign seems to be scratched out.
Uh-huh. So I can either go deeper into the bog, which is not the right way, supposedly. Or I should go up to the grove. Well, can I guess I need to inspect that sign and see if I can discern anything that might have been scratched out on the other way, and also like how easy is it to just turn this sign so that it's points in opposite directions, like one of those cartoons.
Go ahead and roll a knowledge check for this one. This is less about intent and more about literal evidence.
I'm rolling for knowledge. I don't have advantage or disadvantage, so let's roll. 23 with fear.
I will happily take that fear token. I needed a replenishment. So, that's a really high number. So the first thing you realize is someone beat you to it and already Looney Tunes this sign.
Yeah, okay.
So the route originally said land route and water route. And the part that was scratched out was like a boat recommendation. But the sign has been altered. And you get the feeling from looking closer at the text that was scratched out, it basically says Holy Grove this way, basically, like Sacred Shrine this way, and someone scratched it out so you wouldn't know that route was to lead somewhere sacred. But from analysis, it looks like this fork in the road is more, if you're traveling by, like, boat, take the bog route, and if you're traveling by foot, take the high road, and there's a holy site along the way. But it's like they're trying to...
A holy site along the way if you go the high road?
Yes.
I see. But someone wants us to not take the boat road.
Correct. For good or for bad, you don't know. You just know that they've tried to, like, indicate you should take the high road.
I see.
But it would be pretty easy if you wanted to flip the signs to fuck with somebody else.
No. Well, okay, you said the signs are already Looney Tunes, though, right?
No, I said they'd be... Well, retcon. I meant to say they'd be easy to Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
They have not been Looney Tunes. You just know that they've scratched out that there's a holy sign on the high road, and you're able to make out that it was less about this way to town, this way not to town, and more about this way better with boat, this way better by cart. And someone sharpied away that there's a shrine on the way.
Intriguing.
And yeah, it would be really easy for you to remove the like one nail on each board and then just move them and then reattach it with not an issue.
No.
Our eagle-eyed listeners might notice there is some mild retconning going in there, but I think my original intent has made it through at this point.
Well, and there's no like more or anything here to like that like there are boats or anything that I would have access to be able to take the water route.
I mean,
right?
I don't know how hard building a boat would be, but you once upon a time had a cart. You don't. You once upon a time had a hippo bear. You don't.
Right.
And I don't think you'd build like a particularly good boat out of the singular street sign. You could try.
Yeah, no. I think having discerned that the one route is better with a boat and the other route is better if you're not on a boat. I think I'm going to go the easy route.
All right. As you continue to head up, you see, as you go through, the little girl pulls at your shirt and goes like, "We're heading to my home."
Your home, you say, Lyra?
She gives
Don't
a
remember your
smile.
name, but you remember your home.
Sorry.
Sorry, what did you say in between there?
Sorry.
Oh,
in her
okay,
voice.
never
So, as you manage to like crest a bit of a hill, you see splintered weapons stuck in the loam, gouges scorching the earth, and what looks like a tree's corpse matted with moss and stubs across the clearing. But you see what looks like a town was here. The buildings
Oh.
seem to be the people are frozen still, petrified, in the middle of their daily goings about. You see like a woman handing over a bag of money to a cart that's been withered away by time. You see the buildings have become dilapidated and broken down. And it just looks like this town was hit by the plague hard, and you're not sure how long ago. But you do notice that towards like the center of the town square, there seems to be like a beautiful hand-carved like fountain, like a sacred idol in the middle of the city. And in this like fountain, you see like several flowers floating in it, and a crimson one in the very center of it.
Okay, well, so I assume everybody knows that Haven is looking for the shiny flower, yes, no?
Yes.
I see. Well, that's suspicious. So it's a hand-carved fountain with a bunch of these flowers, and one of them is crimson. And it's just in the middle of the square, and I guess, do I see any signs of life, I guess?
Go ahead and roll a knowledge check.
A knowledge check, alright. Rolling for knowledge. Only a 9, but with hope. Wait. I was probably supposed to ask before I rolled, but can I spend a hope to use my Lord of the Flies?
I'll allow it in this case.
Because I want to see if there's any like actual flesh or anything that attracts the insects and whatnot.
I'll definitely allow that. But you are correct
And
that
it only
should be before a roll, but I honestly don't care.
And that costs 1 hope to activate an experience?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm actually full up on hope, so I need to actually start spending it.
So was that a success with hope or fear?
So it was with my Lord of the Flies, it makes it an 11 with hope.
11 with hope. So, with hope, you get 3 pieces of information.
Ooh.
So the first thing you notice is that red flower in the middle looks authentic.
Okay.
And looking around, you feel like this place was the domain of a minor deity. And something would have protected this place magically, which would explain why a flower could stay here untamed. But you do see traces of a battle, broken weapons and branches, the gouges in the ground. And with that roll, you get the feeling that this town was protecting itself. A battle was happening, and you can see, like, looking at it, looking for the flies, looking for the patterns, that both local wicklings and Haven soldiers are petrified here mid-combat.
I see.
So, a viral outbreak happened during a scuffle, quite likely over this flower in this area. And what was magically protecting this place has either faded or chose to let you in.
I see. The little girl said that this is home. So, Lyra, you remember which house is yours?
She points to a very nondescript looking, dilapidated shack.
Do you suppose there might be any supplies in there still?
Let's go. And she just runs over with a smile on her face.
All right, I'll follow her.
She's struggling to open the door. It seems stuck.
Okay, So first things, is there a window?
There is.
Oh no, I don't really want to do that right now. Well, maybe I do. I don't know. No, okay. So first things first, I am going to activate my Rogue's Dodge, which I spend 3 hope to gain a +2 bonus to my evasion until the next time an attack succeeds against me, or until my next rest.
Okay.
So I'm going to spend 3 hope to do that, because I probably should have done that before I even entered town. And then I guess I'm just going to try and help her with the door.
Go ahead and roll strength or finesse.
I'm going to go for finesse. Let's roll critical success.
Oh, dang. You clear a stress, gain a hope, and have no issue opening this door and getting in. No issue at all. Clean, swings open. And you look
Nice.
closely and you see a kitchen table, 2 cups on top of it, and you look down and you see under the table looks like an elven woman curled up in a ball, petrified. Like she was curled up in the fetal position and got turned to stone.
I see. So she was hiding from something under the table. And there doesn't seem to be any other petrified people in this house?
Not that you see right now. Actually, you look across the room and you see what looks like a humanoid of some kind man in a rocking chair holding a pipe, completely petrified as a statue. You see that moss has grown up all the way up and around him.
I see. Can I search for secret passages? I mean, I want to look for more supplies for our journey, but I would also like to kind of be nonchalantly searching for secret passages at the same time.
I'm gonna have you roll knowledge for this one. I found D&D simply did too many wisdom checks, where this feels more intelligence for how you're going about this.
And that is a 12 with hope.
Hope still going strong. So, you're not seeing any, like, trapdoors or hidden passageways. Seems to be a pretty normal house going on. But it was easy enough for you to get all the basic adventure supplies you need. Go ahead and add a handful of gold to your inventory. But consider it to be like a gold's worth of stuff. So it's less that you found raw cash, and more you have, like, that much worth of stuff to barter or trade or what have you, of knickknacks and thingamabobs.
Right. Is there a leash for the dog?
Yes.
I guess there probably wouldn't be a collar with a tag or anything anywhere. Would there? Like, I'm curious. Leroy is curious if the dog's name is actually Fluffy.
Yeah, you find a Fluffy collar.
Randomly. Yeah, okay.
She isn't saying much.
Seems like nobody's been here for a long time.
Yeah, no one seems
I say
to be
to Lyra.
She looks at you. No one seems to be home. Oh, you found Fluffy's collar. And she, like, puts it on the dog. It's just kind of hanging loosely. You have the feeling that, like, she doesn't seem to be reacting like she came home and found everyone in her hometown dead. There's a good chance she's going through some kind of denial type situation. You've seen this before in your earlier explorations, that you don't quite know what's going through her head, but probably not the horrifying shock of some. She's not nearly as distraught as someone should be in this situation.
Right. Just, I don't know what that well took from her, but it probably took something.
And I'm gonna spend a fear.
Okay.
So you look over, and the rocking chair's ever so gently moving. Possibly the
Uh-oh.
wind coming through the open door, the dust settling.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really know.
Huh.
Creak.
Ooh, well, and this house only has one level?
It does appear to be like, for lack of a better term, the Pokemon house layout where you have the living room, kitchen, table, and then there's stairs that go up to 2 bedrooms.
Yeah, okay.
But it seems the roof has collapsed in, so the stairs don't really go anywhere.
Right. And obviously there's the entrance we came in. Is there a back door?
Yeah, but it does seem to be like vined shut.
Vined shut. Can I spend a hope to use my amateur gardener experience to see whether or not those are natural vines?
Go ahead and roll. I'll say knowledge on this one.
Analyze, recall, comprehend.
Discombobulate.
And I get +2. Oof. Only a 9 with fear.
Oh no, don't. So, as you look at these vines, and you're like, that seems suspicious, you hear the chair rock again. And you look, and halfway between the chair and you, the stone statue at the pipe has stood up and is looking at you as vines are coming out the eye sockets, and they bloom into black flowers, and is standing perfectly still.
Oh. Into black flowers. Okay. Let's try this amateur gardening thing again. Do those appear to be a variation of the flowers that were in the fountain?
I'm going to say for free they look very similar.
Oh. Yeah, okay. But when I'm looking at this statue, it's not moving.
Correct. But you are feeling your eyes feeling a bit itchy from the pollen in the air.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I guess, so my rogue ability, Shadow Stepper, allows me to move from one shadow to another. I can mark a stress to disappear from where I reappear, and reappear in another shadow within far range. When I reappear, I am cloaked. Am I able to take anyone with me?
I'll allow it in this case.
Because if my eyes are starting to get irritated from these flowers, they're clearly bad news. We need to get out of there. Any shadow that I can see. I'm sorry?
Before you do this maneuver, I'm going to spend a fear. Go ahead and roll strength to try not to blink.
Roll strength to try not to blink. Okay. Rolling.
Hope and fear don't matter. It's a reaction roll.
7.
So, you have this brilliant shadow teleporting plan. So, as you go to do it, your eyes close for a second, they reopen, you see a hand nearly around your neck as it seems to have moved the distance almost in an instant, before you fall into the shadows and reappear on the other side of the room. Are you staring at it or not looking at it? When you come out of the shadow, allegedly hidden.
I am definitely looking at the statue.
It doesn't seem to be moving, and it doesn't seem like it sees you for being a statue that only moves when you're not looking at it. And you have a thought in this moment. There's a lot of statues in this town.
Yeah, there are a lot of statues in this town. But so I am, at least supposedly, cloaked, which I am cloaked in addition to being hidden. I remain unseen if I'm stationary when an adversary moves, or to where they would normally see you. After I make an attack or move within line of sight of the adversary, I am no longer cloaked.
Yeah.
Or end a move within line of sight of the adversary. So
So provided none of the statues can see you from this location through any of the windows or doors, you should be fine.
I see.
You're feeling pretty hidden.
But... Am I able to subtly write a note to Lyra to explain to her what I would like her to do?
I'll allow it. What's this note say?
What would I want her to do?
It's funny because you really can't tell if you're hidden or is that you're staring at it that's causing the effect. You have no way of knowing.
Right. I have no way of knowing. But I do think we need to get out of here. You know what? No, I'm not going to write her a note quite yet. I'm just going to motion her to come with me, and we're just going to run for the door.
Do you keep eye contact on this thing or no?
No, but I don't stop moving until I am around the corner of the door so it wouldn't be able to see me if it has eyes.
Okay. So you feel like you've successfully made it outside. You don't know where it is. Do you try and spot it again now that you're outside?
Well, provided I was hidden in the first place, I think I should be able to peek around the corner and look to see if it moved.
It seems to be in the same spot it was in. As do most of the statues seem to be in the same spots they're in when you came into town.
I see.
But you do notice something you didn't notice before. So that fountain you saw that looked like it was beautiful and hand-carved, upon closer inspection, you saw this repeating pattern that looked like somebody praying towards a person. On closer reflection, it appears to be about 20 or so statues holding other statues by the throat, forming a circle around this waterbed.
Oh, I see. And all the people being held by the throat are also statues.
Correct. Like a choking Ouroboros.
Okay. So the Ouroboros is surrounding this hand-carved fountain. As you said?
It is the hand-carved fountain.
It is the fountain. Sheesh. I get the feeling that this flower is some sort of philosopher's stone, that people are being sacrificed up to it.
Interesting. Writes note.
Well,
I'm going to spend a fear. Make an agility or reaction roll, please.
An agility reaction roll. Agility! 10 with hope. Wait, it doesn't matter though. But a 10.
So, as you're sneaking through and made it outside, you realize that a thorn vine has wrapped its way around your ankle.
Oh.
You take 11 points of physical damage as the vines wrap their way around your body to restrain you.
Oh dear. 11 points. Sheesh.
Would you like to spend some armor?
Yeah, I'm going to spend an armor slot to reduce that to minor damage.
If it makes you feel better, I got the highest possible roll on that. But you are considered restrained until you're freed. There is ways you can try and free yourself. But Spotlight is back on you.
Well, okay, so this isn't a bramble vine?
It seems to be barbed and spiky, but does not appear to be one of the tangle brambles you faced with earlier.
Right. how similar does it look to the vines that covered that back door?
Very similar.
I see. And how similar does it look to the vines that appeared to be controlling the statue?
Completely different. Kinda.
Completely different.
Different enough.
I mean, okay. Well, in that case,
I mean, because you're an expert gardener, you can tell the difference between a crimson bloom vine and a regular creeping thorn vine. Come on.
yeah. Am I able to just cut myself free?
You see the little girl is kind of like cutting at it with a dagger? Go ahead and make a finesse check. Or strength, your choice.
Nah, I'm going finesse. 16 with fear.
No issue at all. Cut yourself free. Didn't even like make noise doing it. Like there's a part where like the vine goes limp. You like catch it on the tip of your foot and like roll it onto the ground.
Excellent.
It's also worth noting that one of those blooms is worth 3 chests of gold.
One of the crimson flower blooms?
Yeah, you could get anywhere from 1 to 3 chests of gold. Because you could use it to, I don't know, bring several people back from the dead for all intents and purposes.
Right, cure them of their illness. Okay, well, so the vines came from within the house, or where did the vines even come from?
So it seems, looking around at this grove, there's this kind of ambient vinage going. It's like there's several trees scattered about. Some look vaguely humanoid. And then there seems to be like just almost like a web of vines coming out from the fountain at the center, striking through and around the village. There's no like real one source of it. It's like a raspberry bush that's been left to grow way too far and too much. Where it kind of goes along the ground and up, rather than coming up at a central location.
Okay, am I able to get on top of the house? I know that the roof is collapsed, but...
You can certainly try. It would be agility.
Agility to try and climb on top of the house. 12 with hope.
You have made it on top of the house. Barely.
All right. So from my vantage point on top of the house, can I do these vines appear to have any like regular like would they look like a magic circle kind of thing, or like, because they said they kind of seem to originate from the fountain? Yes, no?
Yeah, kinda. Go ahead and roll a knowledge check for me.
Would amateur gardener apply?
I'll allow it.
Knowledge +2. 22 with hope.
So, looking up from this vantage point, it's more like there's just a web of these vines kind of going through, like, almost like a defense system. From this vantage point, you feel like the spirit that used to guard this place set up these vines to find and restrain intruders. But the vines aren't actually related to the petrification going on here. So it's like the blight and the vines are like a defense system, almost trying to like fight off the blight, which is a different... It's like Mr. Burns' disease, where there's just layers upon layers of things going on here that aren't necessarily working in tandem.
Okay. So the vines and what's moving the statues are probably two different things.
Correct. And you're not even sure they're playing nice.
Did Lyra climb up with me, or where's Lyra?
I'm gonna say she did. I'm gonna say you helped her.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So it kind of looks like these vines here are trying to restrain intruders, like some sort of defense system. Do you remember anything about that?
And she's looking like she's trying to think real hard.
Hmm.
The spirits we're keeping our village safe, but no one seems to be here anymore.
How far away am I from that, the fountain?
I'm gonna say
Being on top
far
of the
range
house.
because you climbed on top of a roof.
Yeah, okay.
So you could theoretically get there in a move with a high speed roll.
Right.
From this angle,
So
it's kind
the
of interesting. So you see the bloom is floating on this pile of water, right? But under the bloom, you see its roots have wrapped down around what looks like a kind of like a collector's box, like a nice wooden chest. Seems to be under the flower, and the roots are wrapped around it. And you see like pulses of light coming from the box up the roots into the plant.
Huh. And the box just seems to be under the water?
Correct.
You are right that maybe I shouldn't have given up my my amphibious nature of being a ribbit.
It's not that deep.
Fair.
I
But
do
it is
enjoy
also
the
surrounded
hypothetical.
by statues.
So, to break canon for a moment, it's just funny because a lot of people like to try and min-max on these games. They're like, I'm min-maxing. I'm like, you have no idea what'll happen.
That's true.
There's been no fewer than 2 moats you could have swam through. Heck, you could have just taken the river route, no issue.
I could have. But regardless, I'm on top of the roof. The vines have not followed me onto the roof.
Are you looking at any of the statues?
Not in particular. I mean, I'm kind of just looking at the fountain right now.
So the fountain hasn't moved.
Right.
And I'm going to say you didn't do anything that explicitly broke your cover yet.
Right, because I was pretty stealthy when I cut myself free from the bramble vines. Or not the bramble, but from the vines.
But I will say, rules is written. If you don't do something soon, I just get a free GM move.
Fair. What do I even have in my equipment that I can... Yeah, I don't really have anything in particular in my equipment aside from the clipboard, but that's not really... Clipboard or the dossier, but the dossier is not really that helpful either. Although, actually, is there... Do I have a map? Can I figure out what exactly is this town on any map that I might have?
Go ahead and roll a knowledge check. That's an interesting one.
Roll for knowledge. 22 with fear.
I'm going to take that fear. So, you do see that on one of your older maps you had before you started this adventure, you see that there was a name on it. But it's like...
Okay.
It's something Grove, but it's like the text faded away for whatever was attached to the word Grove.
Ah.
It's like the map erased a part of itself, kind of like the sign from earlier.
Uh-huh.
So it's someone's Grove, and it was on the map.
Someone's Grove, it was on the map. She doesn't remember, so maybe my theory about the fountain is wrong, and she's actually had her memories eaten by whatever has destroyed this town. But there appears to be some... You know what?
That flower might be enough money to pay off your debt.
Yeah, I was just thinking, you know what? I screw it. I'm gonna try and run and grab that flower and chest out of the fountain.
Go ahead and roll a speed check as you're going for both.
Agility?
Yep.
No, I don't. That's just... Oof, only a 14 with fear.
So, you're running. You can make the distance in one turn. You get to the fountain. You grab the flower. You grab the chest under it. Roll 2d12 for me.
2d12. The dice roller is right here. D12. D12. Roll. 10.
10. So, as you pick up the chest, it's not that heavy, which is nice. You're in the middle of the fountain. You're about to get out. I'm going to spend my first fear. And 4 of the statues turn to face you. Their jaws disconnect. And they try and bite at you.
Oh my.
So, the first one, I'm going to go ahead and make my move. Roll. Does a 10 hit you?
It does not.
Okay. The second one's going to go ahead and roll. Does a 12 hit you? I spend a fear.
It does not.
The next one's going to go ahead and roll, which is me spending my next fear. That's 20. Which is a critical
that hits
hit. So Pack Tactics activates, which adds some extra damage. So you're looking at 24 physical damage.
Well, I mean, I guess I need to spend that last armor slot to reduce that to major damage instead of severe damage.
So you do not get blighted. And then I'll spend my final fear to activate forest control. And a tree outside the well tips over and falls towards you. Make an agility reaction roll.
Agility reaction. Do critical successes still count?
Not for reactions, but you do succeed still, so it's still a crit. I think you still actually clear the stress, yeah. I'm gonna say you clear the stress and gain a hope for a crit in this situation. Sure.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, the other benefits are nice, but it was 2-4, so it's like it's a pretty low roll, but it's critical success, so.
Yeah. So Spotlight is back on you. You have a box and a flower, and this well is trying to murder the shit out of you.
Okay.
It seems to be made out of 4 to 8 dudes. You're not really sure. 4 of them seem to be moving.
How many of them are within close range of very close range of me?
8. You're in the center of this well.
I am going to spend a hope to roll my Rain of Blades. See if I can deal some magic damage to these bad boys. So I spend a hope. And I roll my spellcast roll. 11 with hope.
11 with hope. That is what you needed.
Ooh, nice. So they take 2d8 plus 2, which is 12.
So that's enough to severely wound them. As you just do this Beyblade spin of death, all 8 of them are very injured. On death's door. Didn't kill any of them.
Okay. So the tree that tried to fall on me
is still there, fallen. It successfully fell. It just didn't hit you.
Yeah. But so the tree, can I like run along it so that I can try and kind of funnel them so they can't like reach me from the ground? Or how tall is this tree on its side?
I'll allow it. Yeah.
How high up?
I'll let you use the tree as a ramp to get out.
Yeah, so that's my plan, is to use the tree as a ramp to get out.
I'm going to say still roll agility to get out of there, but I'll let you get an advantage for using the tree ramp. So you get to add an extra d6 to that.
Advantage? That is a 16 with fear.
So you run up the tree, you get away, the little girl's still on a roof watching this go down. I'm going to spend this, I'm going to use my GM move. And I'm going to spend a fear. So in the spot where you were, where the chest was in the center of the well, the water turns from blue to red to purple to black, compresses into a sphere, and you see like glowing eyes form as wisp-like tendrils form arms and legs, 5 or 6 arms, 3 or so legs, as this ethereal energy, this chaotic elemental, forms from the spot you were in.
Oh, here.
It's going to waddle up the tree towards you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to do what now? Oh, that's fun. I'm going to spend my last fear to remake reality. The log you're standing on turns to sand, and the ground around you turns to water as you fall in and sploosh.
Oh, dear.
That's a very cool power. You take 5 points of direct magic damage, so you cannot use armor against it.
Okay. That's not good.
And you seem to, like, the ground seemed to have turned into water. Spotlight's back on you. I'm out of fear.
Okay, and so how close is this elemental to me?
It is within melee range. It
Within
seems to be
melee
a
range.
corroding mass of uncontrollable magic and energy.
Right. That thing is pretty scary.
The
Well,
sentence
first
I
things
get to
first.
transform the area into a different biome was fun.
First things first. I mean, I gotta eat my snap powder donut. Definitely gotta do that.
Alright, carbo loading, go.
So I mark a stress and I clear a hit point. And I guess that's consumed. Too bad. Goodbye, snap powder. Okay. Then, so the only thing I have that deals magic damage, although I can't. Now, I see. I don't know if I should go for magic damage or I should go for.
Make a knowledge reaction roll for me. I'm giving you a free
Knowledge
here.
reaction. A 4 with fear. Well, right, fear doesn't matter, but a 4.
So, it seems to be like weird chaotic magic. Wish you got more than a 4. That's all I can say.
Okay. Okay.
For the sake of flavor, I'm going to say the ground turned to water and the log turned to kelp.
Okay. How far does this water extend?
It was originally within very close range to it. So,
Okay.
like, about like a 10-foot circle or so.
Right. About a 10-foot circle. Okay, so it's easy enough to get out of the water.
Oh yeah, no issue at all.
Because I mean, and I still have my chest and my flower, right?
Correct.
The question is, do I think I can actually get away from this chaos elemental, or should I just embrace the danger and go for another rain of blades to try and take out those statues too?
Tough to say.
I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit. I'm gonna go in head first and attempt to rain of blades all the statues and assuming they're all within close enough range of each other. I want to try and get them all again.
I'll say so. You didn't get very far when the elemental smoked you.
All right, so I move back in. I spend my hope. I make my spellcast roll. Oh, come on. 12 with hope?
So, that'll hit everything there.
For a solid 8 damage.
So, those 8 soldiers all just die. Their statues crumble. You just see, like, as it collapses into dust. The elemental, though, is as the is it magical damage or physical damage?
It is magic damage.
So it's going to use its magical reflection. Were you within close range of this elemental?
Yes.
You take half the damage you dealt.
Oh dear.
Actually, what was your roll again, sorry?
My roll was a 12.
You missed the elemental, but hit everything else.
Yeah, okay. That sounds lucky.
And that was
So-
with hope or fear?
That was with hope.
Okay, spotlight's still on you. I'm sitting here with a measly 1 fear left dangling.
Okay, are there any shadows anywhere nearby me?
Yeah, there's a
Considering
fair
it's
number of
dusk,
shadows in this dilapidated town.
Well, I'm near enough to me that I could use my shadow step ability.
Yeah, no issue.
Okay.
Mentally picture the layout of Pallet Town with an Eldritch Fountain in the middle.
Because yeah, I do just need to mark a stress to fall into a shadow, and I can shadow step anywhere within far range, so that could get me pretty much anywhere in the grove. Yes, no, as long as there's
That
a
is
shadow.
correct. And you are in the twilight, so there is shadow for infinite directions for a little bit longer.
So am I able to shadow step onto the roof next to Lyra?
I'm going to say yes.
Then that is where I shall shadow step to. Reappearing cloaked, as the ability claims.
Go ahead and roll a finesse check.
A finesse check, alright. Is it a reaction roll or just a regular roll?
Reaction roll.
Finesse. That is a 13.
Okay. So you're on the roof. Spotlight is still on you right now. What would you like to do?
So, I'm gonna look at Lyra and be like, what the hell is that thing?
She's gonna look at you and go, I don't know, but it seems pissed.
I think we should probably just get out of here. Let's just run.
I like that plan.
Okay. Now I do have a crossbow that has far range.
You do.
And I'm cloaked,
You are.
so I would have an advantage. Yes, no?
Yes.
Well, I think I want to take a parting shot at this thing,
Okay.
just to see what happens. As we're turning to run, I'm just gonna shoot at it. Finesse. I have advantage. Roll. 20 with hope.
20 will hit it. 20 will hit most things.
And I get to add. I'm tier 2. Yes, no.
Yes.
So I get to roll for damage. 2d6 plus 1 physical. That's 6. And then also I get to add. I guess I'm assuming it would also be physical damage, but I got to add an additional 2d6 for my sneak attack.
It's the same damage of the thing you do.
So that's an additional 3 damage. So I dealt 9 damage with my parting shot as Lyra and I are booking it out of town.
Alright, so you've knocked a couple HP off it. And did you say you got that with hope?
Yes.
You're rolling real good. So I'm going to spend No, I'm gonna save my fear. I'm just gonna let you get away this time.
But I successfully got the flower and the chest. Yes, no?
Correct. So, did you leave the way you came, or go across the village to the other side to escape?
The pathway went through the village, right?
Correct. And the
well,
well was
we
at
wanna-
the exact center.
We definitely want to continue on our journey, so we're going to attempt to go through the village to escape.
All right, roll one more finesse check for me. This is to kind of stay hidden from some statues you walk across in front of.
I'm going to roll for finesse. Oof. 8 with fear.
I'll take that fear gratefully. You've made it out of the village as far as you can tell. You start heading down the hill into the woods, moving at a pretty fast clippity-clop, weaving between trees. And after about an hour, you're feeling like you got away.
All right. Well, I know it's dusk, but what time of day is do we have like watches or clocks, or how do they even tell time when there's...
You really don't. You are getting kind of on the big sleepies though. It's been a day.
Yeah, I mean, I guess do I see anywhere that would be good for camping? I guess
nowhere.
Actually, no. I want to use my Lord of the Flies to see if I spot any bugs that would indicate there's like any animal dung or anything nearby.
Oh, go ahead and roll a instinct. That's interesting.
Instinct using Lord of the Flies.
Mm-hmm.
So then I get +2. 16 with hope.
You tell me what dung you found.
Okay. Oh. Okay. So, this is the main road. So, I'm gonna say, the dung that I found is, it looks like oversized rabbit pellets.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's see, like some sort of like a rabbit crocodile, maybe.
Crocahair, got it.
Crocahair. Yeah, that seems like something that would live in a forest/bog.
Yes, I'll allow that. Absolutely.
Hey. But so I guess the other indication with the flies would be how fresh is this dung?
How fresh do you want it to be with that roll?
Well, I mean, I would prefer for it to be not fresh, because I'm kind of trying to see whether or not there'd be any signs of animals nearby that could potentially ambush me if I decided to rest.
It feels pretty safe.
Okay. Yeah, then I guess Lyra and I would like to make camp and try and see if we can rest.
Would you like to try and take a full rest or a short rest?
Okay. Now I'm gonna have to.
So realistically, from where you're at right now, I can offer you a short rest, and you could probably make it to town within 8 hours. If you choose to take a long rest, however, you can recover before moving on. But there is one little thing I missed. Roll an instinct check for me.
Instinct, all right. That is a 17 with fear.
You may ask me one question about that last encounter, and I must answer you truthfully.
Okay, so we got a chaotic mass of magical energy that formed out of the well that was having sacrifices made to it, I suppose. So, I guess my question would be, was the elemental a corrupted the spirit that was protecting that area is the elemental that spirit, but corrupted.
So, it was not. What you've gathered is your theory is correct that they were attempting to use this town in some sort of ritual to turn a regular flower crimson. The way you can best figure is the spirit that was supposed to protect that grove has went missing, either captured or killed. And they were trying to feed magical energy to this flower. The treasure chest attached to the flower was acting as a kind of power supply to change it from a regular bloom to a red one.
Okay.
That elemental was the grove trying to purge the intruders.
Ah.
So the grove itself was trying to defend itself in the absence of its spirit. So, your hunch is kind of spot on that if the spirit was there, that's what would have appeared, but instead it tried to summon someone, got a file not found, and that's what came out.
Yeah, okay.
They flipped the top card of the deck and summoned it at random, without even looking at it.
Now, I mean, that's not exactly my problem. As long as I'm actually safe, I do think, I do think I should probably focus on recovery in case. Okay, well, actually, no. I guess meta question: what happens if you're interrupted during a long rest?
If you're interrupted during, so a short rest or a long rest are the number of moves you get, right? If you're interrupted during a long rest, it becomes a short rest.
Okay.
And in this campaign frame, really it's just the rest of the world and my dramatic countdown timers you can't see while I'll advance as things happen.
Ah, right.
So it's possible if
dramatic
you take...
countdown counters.
So as you recall from the first session, if you spend too much time resting, it's possible the person you're chasing may no longer be in the town of Allura. However, you haven't slept in like 2 days, you've been making pretty good time. You could probably get away with a long rest. However, if you get interrupted, like I said, you lose some of the benefits of the moves, you have to fight a fight in your current state, you only get short rest moves you get to use, and you know you can get to a town relatively soon. But the choice is still yours.
Yeah, I think I'm going to short rest.
Alright. So, because of how we structure our show, as you leave the reclaimed grove behind, the canopy parts just enough for the pale remaining light to spill across your path. The air hums with relentless light, flowers blooming too quickly, insects darting in impossible patterns, and after your rest you follow the winding trail towards the city, the weight of what you've uncovered heavy in your packs and your minds. The flower wrapped up carefully. Do you open the box to see what's in it?
No, I don't want to open that box yet.
Okay. I need you to write down some on your sheet. Box number 10.
Equipment. Manage equipment. Add custom equipment. Box number 10. Conduit for red flower. Crimson flower.
Yeah. So, the trail unwinds through a shallow hollow where trees thin into strangly stands of elder and the air grows cooler. As you crest the last rise before the marsh, Wyrmhearth Crossing finally comes into view. The town sprawls across the bog like a raft that learned to grow roots. Broad wooden platforms lashed together with iron chains and ancient rope, rising and sinking almost imperceptibly within the water beneath. Dozens of squat towers jut from the piers, their lanterns burning steady against the gloom. Some are watchposts, others homes, and a few are crowned with windmills that creak and turn in the sluggish breeze. Even from this distance, you can see the banners. Haven's colors ripple in the wind, bright against the damp gray sky. Between them, ribbit folk in oilcloth coats and wad straw hats, keepers of the marsh, are already stirring. One of them notices you and waves a red hand in greeting. A few others follow suit, waving from their posts with long poles resting across their shoulders. One of them approaches in a gondola-type boat. The town has a moat. the pier's bustleless motion, highborn traders unloading crates from low-slug skiffs, lorebone scribes rolling up covers on floating bookstalls, carpenters hammering fresh pine, children dart between barrels, chasing one another across the planks. Somewhere deeper in the maze of platforms, a great iron bell tolls once and low, as if to mark your arrival. You smell cedar smoke and delicious maple bug pie, mingled with the metallic smell of the Witherwild's edge. This is the last piece the Empire Order holds before the forest claims everything further down. And that's where we'll wrap up today's session.
All right.
Alright, so some meta things. So, the Abandoned Grove is just a stat block labeled Abandoned Grove.
Okay.
They literally structure their stat blocks to be its tier 1 stat block, Dryad Vove, difficulty, potential adversaries, and it lists the Chaos Elemental, young dryads, minor treants, and sylvan soldiers. The battlefield itself lets you make a roll to get pieces of lore that's like built right into it.
Okay.
The barbed vines are built right into it.
Okay.
The dryad, 2 soldiers, and number of trees equal to the PCs are part of it.
Okay.
And spending fear to summon the elemental is part of it.
Right.
I did spend some fear when I'm like, ooh, something's happening, to put in a few more dryads.
Mm-hmm.
But I removed the trees to kind of like keep the balance going.
Right.
And this definitely turned into a stealth mission, not a straight up combat. Although you did kill 8 dudes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm still pretty suspicious of this girl, but I'm less suspicious that she doesn't give off big bad energy anymore.
Well, my role as DM means I cannot explain things. So you made it to what's effectively part 2 of the adventure, which is the city.
Mm.
And you spent longer in the grove than I was expecting.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was trying to figure out the best way to actually investigate what happened there.
Although I'm not saying it's a problem, because it's like, Session 2 was always going to be the town proper. The big difference being whether there would have been time to explore around the town before we called it.
Right.
Because we learned that I'm not going to be running all 5 parts in a single session with our time frame.
Right.
Not if I want your mini-movie reviews and to learn about your organs.
Right.
But I did find it funny the Chaos Elemental literally says, spend a fear to transform the area within very close range into a different biome. All targets take 2d6 plus 3 direct magic damage. When it takes damage from close range, deal an amount of damage equal to the attacker equal to half the damage they've dealt.
Mm.
When it makes a successful attack against a PC, I gain a fear. Thing's a jerk.
That thing does seem like a jerk.
7 HP, so... You could have taken it, it would have been tough.
7 hit points.
And it takes half damage from magic.
Okay. See, I wasn't sure which way to go from that. If a magical creature would require magic, or if a magical creature would be resistant to magic. It's kind of It could
have went either way. Which is why, like, there are some like cards you can get at higher levels that are like prepared ability, learn things, weaknesses, resistances. But like, I'll just make you roll for it. If you get good, I'll just tell you.
Right.
Plus, quite frankly, there was more dryads more sylvan soldiers than there probably should have been. Because I did, this is kind of a hot take, but I increased the number of enemies when this turned into a stealth mission.
Makes sense.
And the reason I did that is I really wanted to give you the hint that when you grab the treasure, you should get the fuck out of there. Because I worry that if I'd only used the original 2 and a tree monster and a wizard, so the original like 4 enemies plus the treant, the 5 enemies that were going to be there, I think 5 enemies was actually more dangerous. Like a variety of 5 enemies trying to fight you was more dangerous than 4 goons that came out of the wall.
Right.
It's like I attacked you with more guys because that would have made it less deadly in practice, was my theory.
That is pretty interesting.
Because it's like, the one I didn't use was the tree monster, who really isn't that dangerous at all. But there's also a young dryad that I can mark as stress to spotlight 1d4 allies within range of the target and let them attack without moving, and can spend an action to form a cage around you to restrain you.
Oh.
So if I'd used the spellcaster, that could have went real bad for you real fast.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I feel bad where I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna have there be a ton of guys, but I kind of made there a ton of guys, knowing full well you're gonna windmill them all to death.
Mm.
And one last meta thing is the item in the box. You roll on a table to see what item is in the box.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I will definitely open it in town. But the
Would you
fact that
like?
it was being used as a conduit, it's like I feel like I should do that somewhere holy so that maybe if it turns out badly, it will be less bad.
Fair, but would you like to know what item of the 2 to 24 range you got?
Sure.
So you got a fire jar. Pours fire. Contents refill after a long rest.
Oh, nice.
When I playtested it, they got a glamour scope. Memorize someone's appearance. Spend 1 hope to disguise yourself. I was kind of hoping you'd get that.
That would be pretty excellent. Because it would mean I wouldn't have to spend so much stress to disguise myself.
I also think it would have been really funny if you got the whistle that emits a piercing tone that people you choose can hear within a mile just to whistle at the girl.
That might have been handy.
You also really would have appreciated the gecko gloves that let you climb walls and ceilings with ease.
Yep. There are quite a few things I would appreciate, but the fire jar seems pretty solid.
But the best one is 12, which is mathematically the most likely one you'll get on 2d12.
Okay.
The chest is empty, and it appears empty until you say a trigger word revealing the contents.
Huh.
So the box was the magic item.
That's pretty funny. But now I guess I should add the crimson flower to my inventory too, hey?
Oh yeah, you got a crimson flower, which you can use to unpetrify someone, which is something I probably haven't put as much thought into the ramifications of as I should, because that means any of these giving statues you can turn into an NPC.
Crimson flower de-petrifies.
So I'm running this again this weekend on like my group where one of my PCs is playing the little girl. And they're planning to see the town as if it's still alive and interact with the empty buildings like people are still there to try and unsettle their team.
Yeah?
So I'm going to have fun with this to see how it goes with the other group. I don't have advanced knowledge to share this time, but I'm happy to see how it plays out. So on our next episode, you get to know how other people went through this village. Which, yet again, I increased the number of enemies, and I probably shouldn't have. This is some GM advice. But I'm like, I described this cool Ouroboros well thing, and then I'm like, well, I guess I have to make there be that many now to make sense. What's the minimum number of bodies I need to make a well of human bodies? I do not regret it, but like, you're playing it solo and I upped the number of creatures. That's borderline sociopathic. To be fair, though,
well,
I am planning to use that many enemies on my actual party, too.
I don't plan on avoiding all combats, but Rogue has always been my favorite class because they are decent in combat and then also have a huge number of abilities that apply for role-playing and or stealth missions. So, I mean, hopefully our listeners aren't bored of me sneaking around, but that's...
I don't think they'll be. Like, part of it is, once I saw where you're going for it, you'll notice I changed how the enemies functioned. To, like, even though mechanically they moved as far as they normally could, the reason I did the whole weeping angel, when you're not staring at them, creep up, is I wanted you to think, oh, this is a stealth mission. I am allowed to stealth my way through this mission. So me setting up, here's a well, here's a trap, I have a monster in the well, with a very obvious glowing trap, are you gonna go for it? Was me trying to, like, make it that being a stealth character had risk and reward.
Right.
What's kind of funny is, rules as written, I can just spend a fear to make you no longer hidden.
Really?
Yeah, you can just spend a fear to clear a condition.
Huh.
I have to explain it, so I spend a fear, they look around and spot you up in the hill.
Makes sense.
But there's no dice roll that's really associated with it, because you roll to see how well you're hidden in, and I can just spend a fear to make you no longer hidden.
Well,
Provided it makes sense in the narrative.
Right now, this session, I specifically, I realized last session that my rogue feature of Shadow Stepper was just an ability that I didn't use, even though it does fit into my stress build. And so I wanted to actually use it this time. And I really like that it gives me, like, super stealth.
Oh, yeah.
Basically.
Well, that's one of your, like, class powers, is when you'd be hidden, you get to be cloaked instead.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I do get super cloaked just by hiding, but, like, I don't actually have to roll to be cloaked with the Shadow Stepper.
Yeah, so, like, how it works mechanically is, if I want someone to spot you, they have to be in a reasonable location where they can spot you, and then I spend a fear to spot you. So when you're stealthed on a roof at the outskirts of a valley in a shadow behind a chimney, it'd be a stretch for me to be like, and a bird sees you from above.
Right.
But I did spend a fear so the vine could find you and grab you behind the house.
That makes sense.
And speaking of, I get a roll for my fear because you took a short rest.
Ooh, yeah, that's true. I did take a short rest.
Big money for the fear. I got 4.
Oh, dang.
Fun stuff. But yeah, what do you think of what was effectively a side quest? Oh, speaking of, are you curious what would have happened if you went the other direction?
I am a little curious, yes.
So, the narrative's designed to highly encourage you to go through Wyrmhearth Crossing. But while we were doing our playtesting, we're like, some people will absolutely, under no circumstances, go to the obvious place we're telling them to go where the adventure happens.
Right.
So, the Grove is technically optional, but there's also a stat block for a swamp.
Yeah, okay.
And the swamp is a tier higher than the Grove if you don't have a boat.
That makes sense.
So it would spawn giant mosquitoes that try and kill you. You'd have reduced movement speed in the water. But there's also a stat block for a cliff where you can just ignore this completely, go through the swamp, and then climb a cliff.
Yeah, okay.
And then you're just climbing this cliff while giant birds are trying to eat you because you're just skipping this town completely because screw this town.
Right.
Because that's part of the design. It's like, all I really needed to run this session was the stat block for Shrine, and then the text before and after it, and putting some secrets and hiddens, because the text blocks doesn't have a flower in the middle of it. Or the hints to know that this was a Faenrith community that Haven invaded, killed the god there possibly, or something. Then people invaded, fought over a flower, then the Grove killed everybody and fed it to the flower. Which should set up enough intrigue. So yeah, it went about as far as I was expecting, but also I can see players spending all of like 5 minutes and be like, alright, we fight, and then they just do the fight, and then clear the town, and then leave. But you wanted the lore. And when I was talking about like your character's backstory with a friend of mine the other day being like, fiancés, fake dad, false name, you're doing a lore campaign, right?
Right.
So it's like, if I have a player like Redacted who's barbarian yelled at the darkness, and then that's what they did, then it would feel like a waste for me to explain the politics. But your character, who's literally a talking, sneaking character, all this information I've been giving you, you've been trying to use.
Yeah.
So it's worth our listeners listening to an hour of you exploring, because this information will matter later in the story.
Yeah, I definitely do want to know the lore. But I think we should. Do we do a random question for this? Do we have any random questions?
Not really. We just kind of talk things, mostly game-wise, but I will say, here's my random question for you that's on topic for this game.
Okay.
What new class would you make? what do you feel like is a missing class? It can be from any existing game, off the top of your head.
What new class would I like?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Well, I mean, somewhat problematically, I mean, maybe I should be assuming my character's going to die. I actually felt like I came pretty close in this
How close
session.
were you, actually? Were you within 1 hit point?
4 out of 6.
So 2 more hits or 1 really heavy hit, and you could... So that elemental absolutely could have killed you with the recoil.
Well, I mean, potentially. No, half damage, I don't think it would have gotten over the minor damage threshold. But I had no armor slots left.
I kind of want to do that.
And only 2 hit points left.
So, had it reflected back at you for half the damage you dealt, that would have been 1 hit point.
Yeah.
And then if it had attacked you with its 2d6 direct damage, you're dead. Dead frog.
Yeah, I very easily could have died. But the point is that I haven't really been playing this character like I think they're going to die. So I haven't really looked too much at what the options are that are currently available. That said, I mean, trying to think of things.
Well, what's kind of funny is, for one of the classes I have up on the itch, was one of my players described the little girl character they wanted to play, and I reverse engineered of, okay, I'm going to make this class for you to be the creepy little girl specifically.
Hmm.
Who may or may not be the big bad of the campaign.
She's definitely got something to do with something.
You think that messed you up? Try being a player where I give them those cryptic hints from a well, and they're like, what? Like, don't worry about it. Could just be the wind.
But,
honestly, your next character, I should build you a merchant. All their powers are money-based.
okay, what class would I think, a chef class would be pretty fun.
Nice. I don't know. That's obscure enough to, like, how the heck would that even work? You know what? I'll get back to you. I could make that work. But yeah, for everyone who tuned in, this adventure's online, available to download. You can get spoilers of what's going to happen to them next, which is kind of funny for them to read ahead of what's going to happen to you and then watch the episode. Like, I feel like there's some peak content there to have mild spoilers.
Right.
And I don't think we can legally put your spleen up for auction.
Well, I mean, I'm going to talk to the doctors and find out if I can go this time loop where every time someone watches one of our episodes, I go back to the date of my consultation.
Oh, no. That is the number of tickets. Why did the tickets compile? I do appreciate the hot Carl take. The worst part of the surgery is the parking ticket. Happy gaming, random people out there. I'll have a better sign off later. Bye. I think that was peak content. I really appreciated tormenting you. I've tried to, like, channel all of my inner Resident Evil on that. Did I at least, like, up your heart rate a little bit when the rocking chair was still moving?
Well, I mean, the rocking chair was, like, that's a cliche. I don't mind it. It was effective, but it didn't really get my heart pumping because it's a cliche.
What if I had a fog
You
machine?
mentioned the rocking chair, and then suddenly it's creaking, and I'm like, yeah, that was obvious.
Fine then. I do think the elemental might have got you when the ground just turned to water and you started drowning.
But apparently there's a meteor shower I got to go check out, so I got to get going. But we'll chat for sure next week, Tuesday.